Well, hello, my YouTube fellas and gals. So, we are starting a new genre. If you're new to my channel, my name is Tammy. I own a used bookstore and I'm in this bookstore and more on Facebook. You can contact me through there if you're interested in any of my books, and I will leave everything in the description below for you to find me. And I load sets of books to my Etsy store if people are interested in purchasing one or more. They will be here by the end of the month. Every month I try to pick a new genre, and at the end of the month I get rid of them. So you have a month to shop. And if you don't read real books, but you use a tech gadget, well, you can also use me as a resource center. If you own a Kindle or Nook, you read on your phone, whatever you use. I have wonderful books. I read the synopsis and you can go look them up. So with that being said, and I do ship media if you buy from me, so you do get your cheapest shipping. These are romance books for the month of July. I figured, why not? It's fireworks month. Hey, so why not have fireworks of the heart? And I found this beautiful fabric I bought off of a crafter. It's got little hearts on it, so I thought it'd be a cute background for all of my romance novels. So today we are on lot 11. These will all be hardbacks and they're $3 each. And this is book number 1, and I try to do 10 per video. So we have Holly by Jude Deveraux. This is what the book looks like, and I do go through. I clean my books. I go through them, make sure there's no ripped pages and all that good stuff. This is a 2003 copyright. This is what the book's about. At the tender age of 13, Holly fell in love with Laurie Beaumont, who inherited the Revolutionary period estate when his heiress mother died during childbirth. Though more than a decade has passed since Holly last locked eyes with her childhood love, the passion she felt in her young heart has never come close to extinguishing. That is until charming, regularly handsome Nick Taggart unexpectedly waltzes into her life and treats her to an unforgettable weekend of laughter and intense passion. Despite Holly's undeniable attraction to this dazzling stranger, she knows he's not marriage material. What Holly doesn't know is that Nick Taggart is actually Dr. Nicholas Taggart. Having been with more than his share of women only interested in money and pedigree, Nick decides to test Holly and conceal his more refined qualities. Will Holly be seduced by Laurie's wealth and privilege, or will she choose the simple gift of love that Nick has offered her? The answer is unveiled on a starry Christmas night when passion, hate, and greed collide to reveal bitter truths that will forever change the course of Holly's charmed life. That sounds like a real good book. So that is book number 1. Book number 2, we have No Place Like Home by Fern. That's what the book looks like. It is a 2002 copyright. This is what it's about. The Cisco triplets are appalled by their widowed father's behavior. He seems to care more about his gold-digging fiancée than he does about his own son and daughters. Even worse, Dad put their spunky grandmother head of the family candy company in a nursing home against her will. Setting out to spring Granny Cisco, college seniors Sarah, Hannah, and Sam soon prove that trouble comes in threes. Apparently, so does love. As the triplets get their grandmother the medical care that will make her independent again, all three find unexpected romance. If everything goes according to plan, there's going to be quite a crowd at Granny's house come Christmas, and more proof than ever there's no place like home for the holidays. That sounds comical. And fun. Book 2. Book number 3, we have Sarah's Window by Janice Graham. That's what the book looks like. It is a 2001 copyright. This is what it's about. From a distance, the Flint Hills of Kansas appear an immense and barren landscape, quickly crossed and easily forgotten. A closer look, however, shows them to be a place of wild natural beauty, a perfect backdrop to the story of an encounter between a young woman bound to a place of ghost of a tragic past and an exceptional man who settles there for a short while. Sarah Bryden, a talented painter with her dreams on hold, spends her days waiting tables at a local cafe and her nights alone in her room, capturing with brush and ink the subtle beauty of prairie wildflowers. She is uncommonly beautiful, with a fiercely independent spirit beneath her quiet manner. When John Wilde is a physicist on leave from a California university, moves to the area with his wife Susan and their newly adopted son, he hopes the simple life and wide open spaces will ease them into their new roles as parents. Sarah is drawn into the world when she becomes a caretaker for the child who is difficult and frail, and before long, John finds himself captivated by Sarah's warmth, her grace, and her intuitive gifts. Between Sarah and the child, there is an instant and profound connection, a contrast keenly felt by Susan, who has grappled with motherhood from the start. Unlike others in the close-knit community of ranchers and farmers, Sarah is drawn to John's eccentric and ill-behaved genius. As she allows him to enter the most intimate parts of her life, to see into her heart, she experiences an awakening so powerful it shatters her deeply rooted complacency. Their passion unfolds with the season and changes irrevocably their lives and the lives of those around them. Janice Graham paints the inner lives of her characters as vividly and unforgettably as she renders the vast, many-hued portraits of the prairie. Stunning and cinematic, Sarah's Window is a novel that comes straight from the heart. Sounds interesting. That's book 3. Book number 4, we have Separate Beds by Lavyrle Spencer. That's what the book looks like. It is a 1985 copyright, and this is what it's about. Catherine Anderson and Clay Forrester come from two completely different worlds, but one blind date leaves them forever linked. Clay, a handsome law student, and Catherine, a serious bookish undergrad, experience an evening they will never forget. Excuse me. Fortified by the beauty of the night as well as a bottle of wine, they share a night together. A few short months later, Catherine discovers she's pregnant. They agree to a marriage of convenience, an arrangement that suits them both until they begin to fall in love. Moving and deeply affecting, Separate Beds is a celebration of the healing power of love. Oh, that sounds good. Book 4. Book number 5, we have, excuse me, woo, getting the coughs over here. The Wedding by Julie Garwood. It's got some writing in it. That's what the book looks like. It is 1996 copyright, and this is what it's about. Lady Brenna McAllister harbored no illusions that her husband, a quick-tempered Highland laird, was in love with her. How could he be enamored of his bride on their wedding day? He had assured her that she could return to her home in England as soon as she had given him a son. Marrying Connor McAllister had been an impulsive act for Brenna, but McAllister and his warriors, a savage-looking band who had captured her and her party en route to her arranged marriage to another, offered precious few alternatives. Nor could Brenna deny that the fact she had proposed to McAllister, even if that had been 10 long years ago, when she was just a child and Connor a visitor to her father's castle. Actually, Brenna scarcely remembered the secret missive she'd sent to McAllister, abetted by her mischievous older sister, yet she had never forgotten the tall visitor's dazzling, unexpected smile. Now, after a hasty forced wedding, they were man and wife, determined to be happy. Brenna soon endeared herself to most of the clan, despite or perhaps because of her uncanny knack for getting into trouble. And although she grew to adore her brave, superstitious, gentle husband, she had no clue that Connor lived for the moment she whispered, "I love you" words she never meant him to hear. But when a rival laird struck out, the McAllisters, trapping Brenna in a web of dangerous intrigue, she knew that only her faith in her gallant mate could save her. There you go. The guy in the shining armor. Book number 5. Book, excuse me here. Book number 6, we have Fern Michaels for, it's For All Their Lives by Fern Michaels. This is what the book looks like. It is a 1991 copyright, and this is what it's about. The year is 1966. The conflict in Vietnam is beginning to tear the nation apart. Captain Mac Carlin, handsome son of one of Washington's most powerful and influential justices, defies the father he hates and volunteers for duty in the war. Empty and lonely, he is ready to leave his wife and his marriage behind. Across the country in San Francisco, Casey Adams just arrived from France, where she had been raised in a Parisian orphanage. Casey has a true vocation for nursing, and her surgical experience makes her ideal for duty in Vietnam. She goes to a recruiting office and offers a commission in the Army Nurse Corps. But a chance encounter in a California coffee shop changes the lives of Casey and Mac forever. In a single moment, kindred spirits and hearts meet as one, and both know they have found each other, the love they have longed for all their lives. They meet again in Vietnam as the war rages around them. Mac and Casey fall deeply in love. In spite of the teasing briefness of their meetings, in spite of the attentions of Luke Farrell, a doctor in Casey's unit who is strongly attracted to her, in spite of Alice, the socialite wife, Mac is still tied to back home. Mac and Casey know they belong to each other. For All Their Lives is an unforgettable saga of love and war, of heartache and hope, as men and women, friends and adversaries, lovers and strangers confront their lives and challenges of the fate to answer the calling of their hearts. So there you go. Book number 6. Book number 7, we have Rose Cottage by Mary Stewart. That's what the book looks like. It is a 1997 copyright. This is what it's about. Rose Cottage, a tiny thatched dwelling in an idyllic English country setting, and would appear the picture of tranquility to a passerby. But when Kate Herrick returns to her childhood home, she uncovers a web of intrigue as tangled as the rambling roses in its garden. It is the summer of 1947. Kate, widowed in the war and comfortably settled in London, travels to Rose Cottage to retrieve some family papers for her grandmother. Curious as to the changes and welcome she'll find, she is relieved when at first glance everything seems just as she remembers it. But she soon finds disturbing evidence of a break-in. The papers are missing. The village is alive with gossip. Did her elderly neighbors suspect of being witches really see nighttime prowlers and ghosts in the cottage garden? Kate's search for the truth brings her together with many childhood friends and neighbors, some suspicious of her return, but some eager to help. It also leads her down a trail of family bitterness, jealousy, and revenge, and into an exploration of her own past. But all's well and ends well, and Kate finds true happiness in her humble beginnings and discovers romance where she least expects it. Generous, humorous, warm, perceptive, Rose Cottage is a lyrical novel that will delight Mary Stewart's millions of devoted readers. So there you go. 7. Book number 7. Book number 8, we have Unexpected Blessings by Barbara Taylor Bradford. This is what the book looks like. It is a 2005 copyright. This is what it's about. The new blockbuster from one of the world's greatest storytellers delves into the life of Emma Hart, the original woman of substance, an ambitious, passionate, and volatile woman of the next generations. Evan, Tessa, Lynette, and India, 4 remarkable women, 3 generations of Hearth, one indomitable family whose loyalty binds them together and whose enemies wants to tear them apart. Evan Hughes, Emma's American great-granddaughter, is trying to integrate into powerful Hart family. She is caught between her estranged parents, her new family, and her new love. But a dangerous enemy hovers in the background. Tessa Longden, Evan's cousin, is battling her husband for custody of their daughter, Adele. When Adele suddenly goes missing, Tess is forced to seek help from her half-sister Lynette, a woman who has been her rival all their lives. Lynette, the most brilliant businesswoman of the four great-granddaughters, is desperately trying to show that she is a natural heir to her mother, Paula, but her glittering future at the helm of a vast heart empire means many sacrifices, perhaps even the loss of her sister's fragile trust. In India's Stanish, the traditionalist in the family falls for a famous British artist from the working class background. Madly in love, India is determined to marry him no matter what her family thinks. It is Evan who finds new perspective about her own life from the revelations and letters that Emma wrote to Evan's grandmother decades ago, but they may come too late. As conflict and danger swirl around the Hart women, someone who is pulling the strings to make sure none of them finds happiness, who is among them, will rise to the challenges as only a true heart can do. The latest dramatic story is an ongoing saga of an extraordinary family. Dynasty is full of love, passion, jealousy, and ambition. It is Barbara Taylor Bradford at her inevitable best. And there you go. There's book number 8. Book number 9, we have The Side of the Angels by Leona Blair. What the book looks like. It is a 1992 copyright, and this is what it's about. Who is he? Tyler Ballard demanded. Royal Benedict said, and he said, your cousin? My God, that's incest. Excuse me, then I've been committing it since I was 15. We made love on the day I married you. With these devastating words, overheard by a 12-year-old girl, begins an enthralling contemporary novel that probes the innermost desires of women through 30 years of tumultuous change. Leona Blair, best-selling author of Privilege and World of Difference, has created a marvelously entertaining novel, provocative and original, that goes to the heart of women's lives, the battles that destroy, the ties that bind. When young Catherine Ballard listens unseen to the final clash between her scholarly father and glamorous socialite mother, Sydney Benedict Ballard, she is crushed. Abandoned by her mother, isolated from the father who retreats into his word, Kate is left to put herself together piece by piece, constructing a facade that follows her to face the shame of her mother's notoriety. Only her best friend, the rebellious, determined Rebecca Salter, understands and loves Kate unconditionally. And then years later, powerful matriarch Polly Benedict reaches out to... Oh, there's a bent page. The granddaughter she has never acknowledged, inviting Kate to live at Cal Regis, the opulent Benedict estate in South Carolina. Polly hopes to shape her granddaughter's life to live out through Kate her own frustrated ambitions, but Kate is no easy conquest. Only gradually is she won over to the seductive Benedict way of life, the grandeur of Cal Regis, the influence wielded by Polly and her lusty husband, the senator. The dreams Polly has for the brilliant, beautiful, feisty granddaughter who's already making a name for herself doing the work she loves. Kate turns her back on it all with a wildly romantic gamble. She marries Wynne Talley, the American actor who is taking London by storm, and suddenly Kate is on a collision course with all the people she loves most, her deepest needs, her fiercest passion, and ideals at stake. Touching on many of the issues closest to women daily, Leona Blair has created a deeply satisfying story of mothers and daughters, of men and women in love, that speaks to a woman's intellect and to her heart. So there you go. Book 9. And then the last book of this lot is All Manner of Riches by Mary Elmblad. This is what the book looks like. It is a 1987 copyright, and this is what it's about. August 1830, Clinton County, Oklahoma, there was no rain. A string of dry summers had evolved into a full-scale drought, and the one rich earth dried and cracked in the sun as hot winds lifted and carried the red dust away. Cassie Taylor was 5 5 years old that summer, a thin, hungry-looking child with lank blonde hair and a heart-shaped face. The daughter of a drunken, weak-willed sharecropper, she was raised by her grandmother and tyrannized by her crazed half-brother, Beau. But Cassie, first as a child, that is an adolescent, carves out a life of purposefulness and vision from the poverty and the dry red dust of Clinton County. As she struggles for an education and sense of self-worth, Cassie promises herself one thing, that she will escape Clinton County forever, and escape she does. A horrifying night of attempted rape and murder leaves her an orphan at 13, whose only inheritance is fierce ambition. It is this ambition that hardens Cassie to a loveless adolescence and gives her the courage to find the man, feared by her father, who gave Cassie her first glimpse of the power of wealth and influence. And it is ambition that drives her to forsake the men who desire her, as she single-mindedly pursues the security of wealth and professional acclaim. Yet it is only when a forbidden love can no longer be denied that Cassie discovers all manner of riches. Spanning 25 years, this is the story of Cassie's journey from the sharecropper's daughter to a successful Texas lawyer, from abject poverty and rootlessness to the security of great wealth and a place to call home. It is the story of the marriages and love affairs she has with two brothers and her eventual return to the part of the country she was born in. A story of great determination, of tragedy and romance, of desire and frustration, set with remarkable vividness and authenticity against the background of the Southwest. Mary Elmblad's novel is a stunning achievement in the best tradition of popular fiction. So that is so cool. That sounds like a pretty interesting book. So with that, whatever time zone you're in, I hope you're having a great one. Come visit me in the comments section, and I'll see you soon. Bye.